It started on a Thursday afternoon. I was scrolling through social media when I saw her, my wife Samantha, laughing in pictures with another man. At first I couldn't believe it. Not Samantha. Not after 10 years of marriage, shared dreams, late-night talks, and quiet mornings in bed. But there it was, undeniable. Her hand resting on his arm, her smile brighter than I'd ever seen it with me. Comments underneath hinted at inside jokes, weekend trips, and private dinners I hadn't been invited to. The realization hit me like ice water. She had found someone else. And for the first time in years I felt a mix of rage, heartbreak, and clarity. I didn't call her. I didn't yell. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I thought about the years of dismissals, the subtle betrayals, and the moments I had overlooked, the flirty texts, the late nights with friends. The small lies that now seemed like training for this. Then it hit me. If she could walk away and find someone else, why couldn't I make my own move? Why couldn't I reclaim the power she had taken for granted? I thought about Martin, her neighbor and colleague, married for 7 years, oblivious to his wife's occasional flirtations. We had exchanged polite hellos, brief conversations at community events, nothing serious. But I knew enough to see a window of opportunity. A man distracted by life, unaware that the game of human desire can shift in a single move. The next day I made my plan. Not out of malice, not out of revenge for revenge's sake, but as a statement. If Samantha could trade her loyalty and love for someone else, I could do the same. And do it with precision. I reached out to Martin's wife, Anna. A straightforward message, calm and polite. We need to talk. About boundaries, choices, and the life you deserve. Her reply was cautious, curious. She hadn't suspected anything. She wasn't looking for drama, just clarity. I arranged a meeting. Not in public, not flashy, but somewhere private, somewhere real. Somewhere where the truth could be spoken without pretense. By the time we met, I could sense the subtle shift. The tension, the curiosity, the understanding that what was about to happen wasn't impulsive but deliberate. This was a trade, yes, but one designed to restore balance, not destroy. Meeting Anna wasn't easy. She was cautious, reserved, but there was an underlying strength in her eyes that told me she had been overlooked, underestimated, and quietly unhappy. Our conversation started carefully, small talk, polite observations, the kind of dialogue that tested boundaries without overstepping them. Then I spoke plainly. I know what's happening with Samantha. I know she's found someone else, and I know it's not just a passing fancy. But here's the thing. You don't deserve to be collateral damage in their choices. Anna looked at me, confused at first, then intrigued. I continued, life is short. People trade loyalty for fleeting excitement. But that doesn't mean you have to accept it. There's an opportunity here for both of us to reclaim what's ours. She didn't respond immediately. The pause was tense, thick with the weight of possibility. And then she smiled, a quiet, knowing smile that suggested she understood what I was saying. She wasn't naive. She wasn't desperate. She simply recognized that sometimes the universe offers a chance to balance the scales. Over the next few days we met more deliberately. Every conversation, every moment, built trust, understanding, and a shared sense of strategy. Unlike Samantha, Anna wasn't looking to play games. She was tired of being secondary, tired of being overlooked while others made reckless choices. And in that shared frustration a connection formed. One that wasn't rushed, forced, or petty, but deliberate and real. Meanwhile, Samantha continued with her affair, oblivious to the consequences her actions were setting into motion. She laughed, flirted, and assumed control, thinking she had one. But I was patient. I let the situation develop naturally, allowing Anna to see her own value and giving Samantha the space to underestimate the impact of her choices. By the end of the week, the shift was undeniable. Anna and I weren't just plotting a small act of revenge, we were creating a new reality, one where we both could regain control of our lives. And when Samantha finally realized that her neglect and selfishness had a cost, it was already too late. The man she thought she could control had been replaced in more ways than one, and the woman she ignored had taken her rightful place. This wasn't about cruelty. It wasn't about spite. It was about justice, clarity, and balance. Sometimes life presents you with a trade, and it's not about taking advantage. It's about seizing the opportunity to restore what's been lost. By the following week, the dynamics had completely shifted. Samantha's laughter and confidence had dulled. She noticed, though too late, that her actions had consequences she hadn't anticipated. The man she had assumed would be her safety net, Martin, was now distant, distracted, and increasingly aware of the distance growing between them. Anna and I didn't rush anything. Our connection wasn't built on impulsive revenge, but on understanding, mutual respect, and recognition of our own worth. Slowly, the bond strengthened, grounded in honesty and shared experience, in stark contrast to Samantha's careless choices. She had traded loyalty for excitement. We were reclaiming integrity and self-respect. One evening, Samantha tried to confront me. Her tone was sharp, her voice a mix of frustration and disbelief. "Daniel, what do you think you're doing? This isn't fair." I met her calmly, eyes steady. "Life isn't about fairness, Samantha. It's about choices and consequences. You chose to step away, to look elsewhere, to ignore the person who gave you everything. And I chose not to let that define me. I chose balance." Her words faltered. She realized that the power she thought she had was gone. Her attempts to manipulate, charm, or intimidate were ineffective. The shift wasn't just physical. It was emotional and psychological. The control she had wielded through her affair was no longer hers to command. In the weeks that followed, Anna and I spent more time together, building something real and unshakable. We laughed, planned, and created a bond that Samantha had long taken for granted in her own marriage. And with every passing day, the contrast between the two realities became clearer. Her chaos and deceit versus our calm, deliberate connection. By the time Samantha finally acknowledged what had happened, it was too late. She had lost not just the husband who valued himself, but also the illusion of control she had relied on. Meanwhile, I had gained more than revenge. I had reclaimed my dignity, forged a meaningful connection, and shown that choices have weight. Sometimes life gives you a trade, a moment where your response defines everything that follows. And in this case, taking a step back, letting the consequences unfold, and embracing opportunity led to the best trade I ever made. Samantha found another man, but I found balance, respect, and a woman who truly deserved my time and care. And that, ultimately, was priceless.